Welcome back, basketball fans, to what is unequivocally shaping up to be the most seismic, earth-shattering, and downright unbelievable NBA offseason we have witnessed in the modern era. We are sitting dead center in the scorching heat of July 2026, and the tectonic plates of the National Basketball Association are not just shifting, they are completely fracturing. If you thought previous summers of player movement were chaotic, buckle up, because the storylines dominating the league right now feel like they were pulled straight out of a video game simulation. The balance of power in the Eastern Conference is hanging by a thread, and the fate of the league rests in the hands of a few iconic figures who are orchestrating moves that will be talked about for decades. Right at the epicenter of this hurricane is none other than LeBron James. Yes, you heard me correctly. We are in 2026. LeBron is a free agent, and the bidding war for the King's services has reached a level of public recruiting that we have simply never seen before. We are not just talking about behind-the-scenes whisper campaigns or subtle social media emojis. We are talking about front office executives going on highly publicized podcasts to look LeBron's agents squarely in the eye and pitch their franchise to the world. Yesterday, the basketball universe collectively dropped its jaw when Bob Myers, the former architect of the Golden State Warriors dynasty and the current president of Harrah's Blitzer Sports and Entertainment, the parent company of the Philadelphia 76ers, sat down on the Game Over podcast hosted by Max Kellerman and LeBron's lifelong friend and powerhouse agent, Rich Paul. Bob Myers did not mince his words. He bypassed the tampering paranoia, he bypassed the traditional front office secrecy, and he delivered a masterclass pitch directly to Rich Paul, declaring that if LeBron wants to win another championship, Philadelphia is the undisputed, unparalleled destination. But do not think for one single second that the Sixers are running unopposed in the LeBron James sweepstakes, because down in South Beach, Pat Riley has awakened from his slumber to pull off a move that has sent shockwaves through the league. The Miami Heat have acquired the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. You heard that right. Giannis is taking his talents to South Florida, and reports are screaming that he is absolutely focused on bringing LeBron back to the franchise where he won his first 2 rings. Giannis and LeBron potentially teaming up in Miami under the banner of Heat culture. It is a storyline so rich with history and narrative weight that it feels like a movie script. And while the heavyweights of the East throw haymakers to land the king, the defending 2026 NBA champions, the New York Knicks, are quietly, methodically executing a heartwarming and crucial storyline of their own. For our friends and fans tuning in from the Philippines and all across the globe, we are talking about the ultimate BALIKAN, the ultimate return. Jordan Clarkson, the man who just made history a month ago as the first player of Filipino descent to hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy, is looking at a reunion with the Knicks. After a grueling season where Clarkson sacrificed personal statistics for team glory, playing a pivotal veteran role off the bench to help New York vanquish the San Antonio Spurs in the finals, the Knicks are rolling out the red carpet to bring him back. Despite the suffocating restrictions of the NBA's second salary cap apron, the front office in New York knows that you cannot put a price on championship DNA, veteran leadership, and the infectious energy that Clarkson brings to Madison Square Garden. So, grab your popcorn, clear your schedules, and get ready, because today we are taking an absolute deep dive into the madness. We're going to unpack Bob Myers' unprecedented public pitch to Rich Paul. We are going to examine how the Sixers managed to trade for Finals MVP Jaylen Brown, and what a lineup of Embiid, Maxey, Brown, and LeBron would look like. We are going to break down the terrifying reality of a Miami Heat squad featuring Giannis Antetokounmpo and potentially LeBron James, exploring whether Heat culture is about to dominate the late 2020s. And finally, we will dive into the financial gymnastics the New York Knicks are performing to secure Jordan Clarkson's BALIKAN team, preserving their championship core for a back-to-back run. This is the NBA at its absolute peak of drama, strategy, and star power. Let us dive right in. Now, let us unpack this unbelievable situation brewing in the city of brotherly love. To truly understand the gravity of what Bob Myers is doing, you have to look at the history. Bob Myers is the man who built the Golden State Warriors. He is the man who stared across the court at LeBron James in 4 consecutive NBA Finals. He knows exactly what makes LeBron tick. He knows what it takes to beat him, and most importantly, he knows what kind of roster is required to maximize LeBron's genius in the twilight of his career. Myers left the media world to take over the Sixers' front office operations, and he has immediately set the league on fire. Sitting across from Rich Paul on the Game Over podcast, Myers looked dead into the camera and said, "I honestly believe this is your best chance to win." He acknowledged the intense scrutiny LeBron faces with every decision, the relentless noise from media and the fans, but he stripped all of that away to focus on one singular objective: winning basketball games. Myers told Rich Paul, "If it is about winning, let's talk about this team, because you can win here in Philadelphia." And folks, when you look at what the 76ers have assembled, Myers is not just blowing smoke. The Sixers front office, led by Mike Gansey, just pulled off the heist of the century by acquiring the 2024 Finals MVP, Jaylen Brown. They traded a 36-year-old Paul George in draft capital to bring in a prime, elite, two-way wing in Brown. Imagine stepping onto court to face a Philadelphia team that boasts Joel Embiid anchoring the paint, Tyrese Maxey pushing the pace with his blinding speed, Jaylen Brown locking down the perimeter and get his own buckets, and LeBron James orchestrating the entire symphony as the ultimate point forward. It is a terrifying proposition for the rest of the league. Furthermore, Rich Paul himself noted that the Sixers offer an incredible comfort level. The front office features Jameer Nelson, a former contemporary LeBron's, creating an environment of mutual respect and understanding from the top down. But as with all things LeBron, the narrative is incredibly complex. Charles Barkley recently went on national television and vehemently opposed the idea of LeBron going to Philly. Barkley claimed that if LeBron joins the Sixers, the media will crucify him for ring chasing, pointing out that LeBron has no prior ties to the city of Philadelphia. Barkley pleaded for LeBron to return to the Cleveland Cavaliers to finish his career, where it all started in a storybook ending. And let us be honest, the romantic pull of Cleveland is always lingering in the background. But as Bob Myers rightly pointed out, LeBron's basketball brain is unmatched. He knows what he needs to win. He knows that the Sixers are lacking that final piece of transcendent leadership, and LeBron could be the general who finally gets Joel Embiid over the hump and delivers a championship parade down Broad Street. However, before we go printing Philadelphia 76ers LeBron jerseys, we must pivot our attention down south to the absolute master of the dark arts of NBA roster building, Pat Riley. Just when you think the Miami Heat might be fading into the background, they execute a blockbuster maneuver that shifts the axis of the league. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a member of the Miami Heat. The league has been buzzing for weeks that talks were intensifying, and now it is a reality. Giannis has embraced Heat culture. He has already announced he will be wearing number 7 in Miami. And according to insider reports, Giannis is laser-focused on one singular follow-up move: recruiting LeBron James to join him. Think about the poetry of the scenario. In 2010, LeBron James made the most scrutinized free agency decision in sports history, taking his talent to South Beach to join Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. He learned how to become a champion in Miami. He built his winning foundation under the rigorous, demanding umbrella of Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. Now, 16 years later, the opportunity arises to return the house that Pat built. A front court of LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Bam Adebayo will be a defensive juggernaut the likes of which the modern pace-and-space NBA has never seen. The sheer physicality, the overwhelming length, the transition nightmare that Giannis and LeBron would present is enough to give opposing coaches cold sweats. Giannis understands that to win another ring, he needs a half-court maestro, a basketball savant who can manipulate defenses and control the tempo when the game bogs down in the playoffs. LeBron James is the ultimate answer to that equation. The Heat have the infrastructure, they have the proven coaching pedigree in Eric Spoelstra, and they have a location that LeBron's family is intimately familiar with. The battle lines in the Eastern Conference are being drawn in permanent ink. It is a spectacular arms race between Bob Myers in Philadelphia and Pat Riley in Miami, two of the most successful and ruthless executives in the history of the sport, both vying for the ultimate prize to cement their legacies. While the Titans of the East clash over LeBron James, there is an equally compelling, incredibly heartfelt narrative unfolding in the mecca of basketball, Madison Square Garden. Let us shift our focus to the defending champions, the New York Knicks, and the free agency status of a player who has captured the hearts of millions around the globe, Jordan Clarkson. After navigating a grueling 2026 postseason, the Knicks stood atop the mountain, bringing a championship back to New York City for the first time in over 50 years. A massive, underappreciated piece of that puzzle was Jordan Clarkson. When Clarkson signed a one-year, $3.63 million veteran minimum contract with the Knicks last summer after being waived by the Utah Jazz, many viewed it as a simple depth move. Clarkson was a former Sixth Man of the Year, a player used to having the ball in his hands, taking tough shots and playing massive minutes. But under head coach Mike Brown, Clarkson exhibited the ultimate professional sacrifice. He accepted a reduced role. He played 17 minutes a night. He watched his scoring average dip to a career-low 8.6 points per game. But when the lights were the brightest, when the pressure was suffocating during the 2026 NBA Finals against the San Antonio Spurs, Clarkson delivered. In a pivotal Game 3, coming off a stretch where he barely saw the floor, Clarkson caught fire, providing an invaluable spark off the bench to help secure the victory. By winning the title, Clarkson etched his name into the history books as the first player of Filipino descent to win an NBA championship. The pride, the joy, and the celebration that erupted not just in New York, but across the Philippines, was a beautiful testament to the global reach of this game. Now, as the Knicks navigate this offseason, they are facing the harsh financial realities of the NBA's new collective bargaining agreement. The dreaded second apron is looming over front office like a dark cloud. They have already suffered casualties, losing foundational defensive piece Mitchell Robinson to the rival Boston Celtics and backup big man Ariel Hikporti to the Philadelphia 76ers. The Knicks have successfully pivoted to bring in veteran rebounder Andre Drummond to help patch the holes in the front court, but they desperately need to maintain their backcourt depth and their locker room synergy. This is where the concept of the BALIKAN team comes into play. The Knicks have roughly $6.5 million left under the second apron limit. They have openly and consistently expressed a profound desire to bring Jordan Clarkson back. They want him to return. They want him to run it back. From Clarkson's perspective, this is a no-brainer. At 34 years old, the pursuit of lucrative, long-term contracts is likely in the rearview mirror. What matters now is legacy, winning, and being part of a culture that respects your contributions. Re-signing with the New York Knicks on another veteran minimum deal allows Clarkson to stay in the greatest basketball city in the world, playing for a team that is built to defend its crown. It allows him to serve as a steady, guiding veteran presence for a roster that will undoubtedly face the immense pressure of being the hunted rather than the hunter next season. The Knicks need guys who do not need their egos stroked, guys who can stay ready on the bench for a week and then drop 10 points in a playoff quarter. That is exactly who Jordan Clarkson has proven to be. The BALIKAN is not just a feel-good story. It is a vital strategic maneuver for a Knicks front office trying to thread the needle between financial constraints and championship aspirations. As we step back and look at the canvas of this 2026 NBA offseason, it is impossible not to feel a profound sense of awe at the mechanics of the league. We are witnessing a convergence of legacy, strategy, and pure, unadulterated ambition. The decisions being made right now, in these sweltering days of July, will irrevocably shape the landscape of basketball for the remainder of the decade. Think about the monumental ripple effects of LeBron James' impending decision. If he chooses to listen to Bob Myers and the Philadelphia 76ers, he completely legitimizes the radical process that brought Jaylen Brown to Philly. He gives Joel Embiid the ultimate co-star, an on-court general who can alleviate the immense pressure of playoff creation. A Sixers team with Embiid, Maxey, Brown, and LeBron instantly becomes the undisputed betting favorite to win it all, but they will wear a target on their backs so large it will be visible from space. The media circus, the expectations, the absolute demand for a championship or bust will create an environment of pressure that only a select few can handle. On the flip side, if the pull of Pat Riley, the allure of South Beach, and the terrifying potential of pairing with Giannis Antetokounmpo proves too strong to resist, the Miami Heat will have orchestrated the greatest renaissance in sport history. To pair the Greek freak with the aging but still remarkably brilliant King James alongside Bam Adebayo is to construct a physical monolith that challenges the very evolution of the skill-based NBA. It would be a poetic bookend to LeBron's career, returning to the franchise that taught him how to win, to potentially capture one final ring alongside the most dominant physical force of this generation. And amidst this clash of titans, the quiet, focused, and deeply meaningful work being done by the New York Knicks serves as a reminder of what actually builds sustainable success. The pursuit of Jordan Clarkson's return, the effort to secure his BALIKAN, is about honoring the sacrifices that lead to championships. The Knicks recognize that you cannot just compile stars and expect a parade. You need the connective tissue. You need the veterans who will check their pride at the door, who will lift up their teammates, and who will be ready when their number is called. Jordan Clarkson represents the heart of that 2026 championship team. His journey from a high-scoring six-man in Utah to a selfless champion in New York is a brilliant narrative of maturity and adaptation. His return to the Knicks will not make the same splashing headlines as a LeBron James signing, but for the city of New York and his millions of fans in the Philippines, it is a move that signifies loyalty, stability, and the pursuit of sustained greatness. The coming days are going to be a whirlwind of breaking news, insider reports, and endless speculation. Will the romantic notion of returning to Cleveland pull LeBron back home? Will Bob Myers close the greatest deal of his executive career? Will Pat Riley smilingly unveil LeBron, holding a Heat jersey next to Giannis? And will Jordan Clarkson put pen to paper, securing his place at Madison Square Garden to chase back-to-back glory? We are living in the golden era of NBA drama, and I am here for every single second of it. I want to know exactly what you guys think. Hit the comment section right now and give me your definitive predictions. Where does LeBron James sign? Can the Sixers actually pull this off with Bob Myers leading the charge? Does the idea of Giannis and LeBron in Miami terrify the rest of the league? And to all my Knicks fans and the incredible community in the Philippines, how excited are you for the return of Jordan Clarkson to the defending champs? Let your voices be heard down below. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredibly deep dive into the absolute madness of the 2026 NBA offseason. If you enjoyed this comprehensive breakdown, if you appreciate the deep analysis without all the fluff, please hit that like button. It helps the channel out tremendously. Make sure you are subscribed with the notification bell turned on, because the moment these contracts are signed, the moment the news drops, I will be right back here breaking it all down for you. Until next time, keep your eyes on the timeline, enjoy the chaos of free agency, and I will see you in the next video.